Rocky said, be nice to him. No. First of all, that story that he told about my wife is true. I've never seen a person barrel race in my life the way she used to do it. She was a national Moxie rodeo queen. I'm not a king. She's a queen. She's the best athlete. And I would cede that to her. And that's where the two boys got their talent from. you know I'm telling the truth, Mom. It's not hard for me. It's very easy for me to talk to you about this man tonight. He's probably my best friend in this state. Why I said that? Because the first time that I set foot of the campus up at Eastern Montana College, I'm sorry about y'all with Montana State Buildings, I apologize, but that's where I graduated from. We're still friends, no big deal. But the first time I ever got on a motorcycle, and that, go back to my history. I was born and raised in the South Pacific, American Samoa. You heard football players play pro football? Those are all cousins. All Islanders were all cousins. Remember that, okay? But anyways, it's my wife is something special. And I owe all the way our family is today, where the two boys are at, because of her. She beat them. Get your butt to classes. Do not miss a class. It better be 4.0 or you're not getting a meal. Simple as that. And I very, very much, both of them were academic All-Americans, which is the proudest thing for me and my wife, including the other stuff. That sports is fine. There's no big deal about it. But for us to make sure that they get their brains in the right direction, that's the most important thing, okay? And for all of you parents that sitting out there, think about that. That's the most important thing, because you can't play sports forever, but your mind will keep going. It keeps you going, keeps you alive, okay? So that's it. 40 years. It's hard for me to even think about Bruce Parker. And I met the guy some crazy ways, and I don't know how in the world I kept being his best friend. Him, my best friend here in town. Because we had some really up and down roads along the way. He always thought that he was better than me in basketball, and I kept telling him, no, Bruce, no. Well, Bruce turned around and showed it to me, because we used to be on this road trip crew for the radio station, Cook Double Dribblers. And what we used to do, they used to put us on the schedule to smaller communities around the area. So we went down to play, what was that, Bruce? Lavina, big time Lavina, to play basketball. Now think about this, 3 guys there, never seen or heard of Lavina, never even know what Lavina, what name is that? We walked in to myself, Roy Lee McPipe, and Chuck Young. So we decided to put Bruce on the map without him knowing about this. Okay, look, we get the rebound, we go take it down the floor, we let him shoot the ball. Well, guess what? He got so happy he kept shooting. Put up 63 points that night. 63! How many did you get in high school? What's your best score in high school?
Total less than 63.
There you go. But that was the type of person he was. He was a great friend to us. And we wanted to make sure that he goes out in the big time. 63 points. Remember that, don't you? Big time, okay? 40 years in collegiate athletics. Man, I've never, for me, for 4 years, that was enough. But people can tell you what he is and what he was, and all I can tell you is he is the man that befriended me and helped get me where I am today. Bruce Parker is now in the Hall of Fame tour, but that's what he's done, okay? In April, he was inducted into the NAIA Hall of Fame. In June, he was inducted into the National Association of Collegiate Directors of Athletics Hall of Fame. October, the Carroll College Hall of Fame. So the guy's been on this road trip all his life. He goes here and there. He's a Hall of Famer. Now, where am I at? I'm only Hall of Famer in one school. He's everywhere. Bruce is the most decorated athletic director in Frontier Conference history. He was honored as one of the NCDA Under Armour Athletic Directors of the Year in 2009, 2011, 2018. He was named the Frontier Conference Athletic Director of the Year a record 9 times in 15 years. 9 times, 15 years. Along with twice being recognized as the NAIA Region 1 Athletic Director of the Year in 2009, the National NAIA Athletic Director of the Year. He was recognized with the NAIA Legacy Award for 2019. Bruce Parker served as Director of Athletics at Carroll College for 11 years. His accomplishments there included record attendance at home athletic events, hosting numerous NAIA National Football Playoff games, record-setting years with the corporate fundraising, and funds generated by the Saints Athletic Association. During his tenure, the Saints won 6 national football championships and were runner-up 2 times. Carroll College added 8 athletic teams during his tenure. In 2014, he moved home. Thank you, Bruce, for coming home. To Billings, Montana, and Bruce began his stint as the athletic director at Rocky Mountain College. During his tenure at Rocky, the Bellevue Bears athletic department made great strides. He was instrumental in the renovation of the Herb Clint Field, which was, remember that old field? It's a lot better now, isn't it? Yes, it is. Made tremendous progress in partnership programs, solidified and directed talented coaching staff, and helped secure the National Association of Interscholastic NAIA Division I Women's Basketball Tournament in Billings 2017 to 2020. In addition, he brought the Montana East-West Shrine football game to Billings for the first time in its history. Prior to his stint in Carroll College, Parker was the Associate Athletic Director and Sports Information Director at Montana State University in Bozeman, Montana, over 23-year tenure. He is a member of the MSU Hall of Fame with the 1984 football team. He will be joined in 1987, 85, 87 men's basketball team being inducted into MSU Hall of Fame again. Bruce is a 1979 graduate of Eastern Montana College. There it is, Eastern Montana College, earning his degree in business management and marketing. During his tenure at EMC, Bruce was a member of the captain of the Yellow Jacket tennis team for 2 years. He was on the voice of the Yellow Jacket Sports on Cook Radio. Remember that radio station? It's long gone now. It's not there anymore. He was a student senator for 2 years, a student representative on the Yellow Jacket Athletic Commission, and was recognized as one of the outstanding graduate seniors and named Senior Marshal of the 1979 commencement. That's a lot of honors, but he's earned all that stuff. After all these wonderful and historic personal achievements for me, and probably all to me, he's in my Hall of Fame. And that's the most important thing to me. We shared a lot of memories, moments, especially in our golf game. Yeah. And he gave me a first ride on this Honda motorcycle, which I didn't even know what a motorcycle looks like when they came up here. Oh, man. And my passion for golf, I blame him for it. I blame Bruce Parker. Cook Radio double dribblers. That was something else. Yeah. We used to travel. I think I did before we used to travel all over Levina and stuff like that. So it was just fun having him around. His knowledge. I mean, he knew everything. But it wasn't until where he could just throw it out to people. He helped people with it. He helped people with it. And that's why I look to him for that, because that's who we are as teachers and as coaches. We help people. We help people. That's what we do. And as athletes, and just listening to that young lady over there, I'm so proud of you. So proud of you. You're proud of what you've done. And that's what Mr. Parker has done. All his lifetime, he's dedicated himself to people. He made people's life great, made it simple. And he made people feel important, made people good about himself. He's something else, man. He's something else. Not many of us can say that you have a friend like that. But for me, the Samoan culture, when I came up here, I never had any. But the Samoan culture depends a lot on friendship. I'm born and raised in the island. When you come here, you don't know anything. How is this culture going to be? When I came to Montana, a horse? Come on, where is that? You know, we either ride the bus or use feet. We walk. And I've never seen anything like that until I met my wife and I learned how to ride a horse. But Bruce taught me everything about Montana, the most important thing of Montana. And the most important thing of Montana is you out there, you people. And that's what he taught me. Thank you, ma'am. And that's what he taught me. The love that you people give to others is something special. Bruce Parker is something special to me. And he will always be special to me. He's my brother. He's my uso. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only, my friend, to the death, Bruce Parker.
I feel like Mr. Rogers sitting down at this stool, but I've had some health problems the last 2 years, and I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of this tonight. So I first want to thank my great friend and my brother Cass Ione and his wife Rhonda. You know, that motorcycle that Cass talked about was closer to a mini bike. And Cass had never played golf. So I went over to his house one day in the Heights and picked him up, and we drove to Lake Hills to play golf. So on the back of this little Honda 200 is Cass Ione with 2 golf bags strapped to his shoulders, and we're driving through the Heights. And people are looking at us like, what in the heck is that? And now he's a great golfer, and I can't play anymore, but what a man. And his wife Rhonda is right up there with Cass. You know, they're great people, and they've produced 2 fine boys. One is the defensive coordinator at Montana State, Kane Ione, and they did beat the Grizzlies really bad this year. And I hope there's no Grizz fans in here. Usually they're everywhere, so I got to be careful. And his oldest son, Kip, is the head coach at Willamette University, where he played and graduated from, and he's now their head basketball coach. So 2 fine guys and a great family, and I just love them. So thanks, Cass, for that great introduction tonight. I really want to thank Krista and the Hall of Fame committee for bringing me in for this honor. And, you know, Cass talked about a lot of Hall of Fames that I've gone into, and I'll go to Bozeman next week to go in theirs again. And the best part of it is Lisa and I get tickets to the Cat Grizz game. And it's on her birthday, so I said, hey, here's your birthday present. We're going to Bozeman. And this one tonight took care of Valentine's Day. I said, hey, I'm taking you out to dinner for Valentine's Day. So she was really happy about that. But Krista, I enjoyed working with her, and I'm going to spend some time now that I'm retired helping Yellow Jacket Athletics and working with Krista and Bill Kennedy. And that'll be a great honor of mine to come back. But when you're selected for Hall of Fames, nothing beats going into your alma mater. Now, Kelly, Bobby were great athletes. I was a tremendous intramural player. With John Stockton-like shorts, really short. And they're coming back, by the way. They're coming back. So I'm going to say some things tonight that I'm sure Bobby and Kelly, I'll have to explain what they are because they weren't born when I did it. But you talk about two great athletes to be in this Hall of Fame with. Kelly was a great hitter, and I can remember this because I was at Carroll when she was playing, and I followed Yellow Jacket athletics. And being a great hitter is one thing, but being a great defensive player is another. If you tried to steal on her from her catcher position, more than likely she was going to throw you out. And she did. She threw out 44 base runners from the catcher position in her career. And that to me is amazing. And you can see from tonight with her and her teammates here that she was a great leader of that team and a great player. Now Bobby, who comes from the great program at Malta High School, carried it on here. Amazing basketball player. And she was not just a great scorer, she was the team leader. And Kevin Wooden, an outstanding coach, and had Bobby on the floor for him, and she was like him on the floor. She was the coach on the floor, and she ran things. And great passer, great success in high school before she came here. And both of those two student athletes that are now going into the Hall of Fame tonight with me really led the Yellow Jackets to national prominence, which that's an amazing thing to be able to do that and be able to say that. So I enjoyed Kelly, and I know we're going to enjoy Bobby when she comes up here tonight. I want to talk. First of all, I've got about 21 people that are special guests of Lisa's and mine tonight that Krista let us bring, and I want to just go around and introduce them. And I went into the Carroll Hall of Fame, and I got to tell you first, I love my in-laws, and I don't think everybody can say that, but they're not just parents to Lisa and I, they're also our friends. And they come to all the athletic events that we go to, and I've known them for 45 years, and they're just great people. And when I did the Carroll Hall of Fame, they were first on my list, and I forgot them. So you feel bad when they come all the way up to Helena for that, and then I forgot them. But I want to introduce and they don't need to stand, but my in-laws, Glenn and Peggy Fitchner. And they have good friends that have really become great sports fans. They've always been sports fans. They're great friends of my in-laws, and they've become great friends of Lisa and I. And Ed and Sue are at the table with them too. So Ed and Sue, I appreciate everything you did. But I've spent about 125 days in the last year and a half in the hospital with all the things that hit me. And Ed would come up every day and just pull up a chair and talk to me. And you don't know what friends mean when you're stuck in a hospital bed. And I'm not going to complain about my life with my health right now. I'm just praying. I'm happy that I'm still here, and it takes good friends to kind of bring you through that. So also at my table are two of my closest friends because they're my brother and my sister, and they flew in from Colorado. And they were in Florida when the Hall of Fame's when I went to Florida. My sister said to me the other day, she said, you got to keep getting in these Hall of Fames. That's the only time I ever get to travel. But my sister Colleen, a graduate in 1980 from Eastern Montana College. And she's the smart one in the family, and she's an accountant in Colorado. And also with her tonight is my little brother, who, if I had to bet, I would have said, Danny, go to college? Ain't happening. And he not only went to college, he graduated in the ROTC program at Eastern Montana College in 1989. Went into the service as a second lieutenant, rose to the rank of lieutenant colonel before he retired, and now he works for a civilian agency down at Fort Carson in Colorado Springs. He went to Afghanistan 3 times. He went to Iraq twice. He went to Korea at least 3 times. He fought in the Desert Storm. He was a battalion tank commander. And if I have a hero in my life, it's him. For what he did. Thanks, Dan. I always get choked up when I say that. And I have some other great friends here tonight. There's a guy in town here, a guy by the name of Dick Zier, who's sitting with Bill Kennedy tonight at his table. Dick Zier is a realtor. He used to be the bank president at First Citizens Bank. Been a friend of mine since his days as a bank president in Lewistown. When I needed somebody to pick me up at dialysis or take me to dialysis if Lisa was busy, it was Dick Zier. When I needed somebody to bring me over something to eat because Lisa was in meetings, it was Dick Zier. I have lunch with Dick Zier and Coach Durham every Thursday, and we always invite somebody to lunch with us. So you know, if you get an invitation to our lunch, bring your checkbook. Because more than likely, we're gonna get you for the 6-man club with Mick. So I appreciate Dick, and he's a great friend of mine. I have another friend by the name of Dan Van Dyken who coached in Bozeman, grew up in Bozeman area, went to Montana State, moved out to Portland, and Dan surprised me this week by flying in here from Portland. He wasn't gonna tell me, and then he finally thought he better tell me, so at least I knew he was coming. So Dan, thanks for being here. It's a great deal. And I mentioned Mick Durham. I worked with Mick, and I've known Mick for over 40 years. Mick Durham is going to turn this basketball program around. He's the second winningest coach in the history of Montana State, second winningest coach in the history of the Big Sky Conference. Went out to Alaska, and him and Donna really liked it. I said, how can you like sometimes when there's no sunlight? And Mick liked it when he could play golf 24 hours. So that really helped Mick. But Mick is a fine guy, great friend. Donna, a good friend, and they're gonna be great members of our community. I know my wife really likes the fact that Donna's here because they've been friends for a long time too. I've got 4 very close friends from Helena that are here, and I want to introduce them. They don't need to stand because they told me they wouldn't, even if I asked them to. Neil Peterson and his wife Debbie. John Lagerquist and his wife Susie. John was the voice of Carroll College for 25 years, an outstanding broadcaster. And these 2 guys are like brothers to me, like Cass. I have lots of brothers here. I've got my brother, and then I've got my other brothers. You know, they've taken care of me. They've been great friends. We've done a lot of fun things together, but to me, this event, having them here is very special to me. So thanks you guys for coming down from Helena. It's really a great deal. Rolf and Janie Groseth. Everybody knows Rolf and Janie. Rolf was the chancellor. Rolf, stand up. I want people to see that you're back in Billings. I worked with Rolf for many years at Montana State in Bozeman, and his wife is a legend in Bozeman. She worked at Montana State for 40 years, Janie. Was the alumni director for over 20, and as good of alumni director as there was in the country. And now they're retired like me. And let me tell you something about retirement. It's a pretty good deal. And I'm retired now because of my health. I get to watch the Today Show in its entirety. I get Ryan and Kelly. I get to watch that. I watch all the judge shows, and that's fun. I even throw in a Maury and a Jerry Springer once in a while. And I never miss 2 straight episodes of Family Feud with Steve Harvey. So retirement's pretty good. And I'm still able to do a lot of games on television, and that's a fun deal. The last person at my table I want to announce. This one will be hard for me because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be alive right now. She's got me when I've had a stroke. She got me when I had pneumonia and a blood disorder down in Arizona. Right around Christmas. She takes care of me. She helps me get dressed. She helps me shower. Don't think what you're thinking. She just gets me in and gets me out. Okay? Sorry, Mom and Dad Fitchner, I don't want to say that. But every day she was in the hospital. And on the we were coming home from Arizona. We have a place in Gilbert, and we were supposed to come home on the 5th of January. And on the 27th, right after Christmas, I went down. And I was in ICU for 6 days. Don't remember anything. and then I went to rehab for 20 days. And I remember every day because occupational therapists and physical therapists are mean people. And I had to struggle with that a little bit. But I came back and I've done probably 10 games on TV, and I get to work with my friend Rocky Erickson, who I think he's as good of an announcer as there is in the state. He's fun to work with. You don't have to know much because he just carries the broadcast and you just chime in. And you know, he went to Liberty University, so you know where he got his gift for gab, the Reverend Jerry Falwell. I think he spent a lot of time with Rocky. That's his college, so. But I want to get back to my wife, my best friend, my caretaker, my wife of 42 years. She too went to Eastern Montana College, and then she ended up graduating from MSU in Bozeman because I took the job in Bozeman when I graduated from here. But she's the love of my life, and I love her so much, and I want to thank her for taking care of me because it's not easy. I graduated from Billings Senior in 1975, and Lisa was a year younger than me, and we went together in high school. So I said, well, I better stay in town. I was going to play football, and then I hurt my back, and I couldn't do that, but I got to play tennis for the mighty Yellow Jackets, and I had the great experience to play for Coach Robert E. Lee. And with his cigar in his mouth and his big mustache, and his sometimes filthy stories and jokes, I had a great experience playing tennis here. But more than that, going to school at this fine institution got me ready for everything that I did in my career. The 4 greatest years of my life were when I went to school at Eastern Montana College. I lived in 4th floor Petro. We had a wild time. We filled the gym with people for athletic events. We had great coaches, great players, like my friend, the Hall of Famer Cass Ione, who's just a little older than me, but not much, and I got to watch him when I was in junior high and high school, and he was my hero. He was a great player, and he played with another great player by the name of Roy McPipe, who's also in the Hall of Fame. And when I got the call from Krista that I was going in the Hall of Fame, I said, I get to go into a Hall of Fame with Cass Ione. What a great honor. Taught for 40 years in the Billings school systems. He's a guy, and I think we all have friends like this. I don't know anybody that dislikes him. Everybody likes him. And he is a close friend of mine, and he's got me through some tough times, both him and Rhonda, with this. And there'll be a story in the Gazette on Sunday. It'll be on the front page. It was in the Missoulian, the Montana Standard, and the Helena Independent Record today. The best part was they put a picture of Lisa and I in together, but they put it on page 1 because it's not about Hall of Fames. It's about kidney disease and what I'm going through, going to dialysis 3 days a week. So I'll go back to the 27th. So on the 27th, I've been on the kidney the kidney transplant list for 900 days. And they say it takes between 2 and 5 years to get a kidney. Unless there's anybody in here tonight that would like to sign up, because I'll take that. So on the 27th, I go down, and I'm in the emergency room. On the 28th, the Mayo Clinic in Scottsdale, Arizona, calls Lisa and says, we have Bruce's kidney. So I've waited 900 plus days. And Lisa has to tell him I'm in intensive care. So automatically, I'm suspended from the list because they won't give a kidney to somebody who's sick. So I've waited all that time, and then I was so sick that I didn't remember anything for those 6 days I was in the hospital before I went to rehab. In fact, I got to tell you a little story, and I'm so pleased that Chancellor Edelman is here tonight, and I've had a chance to meet the Chancellor, and I'm telling you, we're lucky he's at our alma mater. He's got a plan. And I'll talk a little bit more about that plan. But so my wife would come in, and she'd read me the Billings Gazette. I'm in Phoenix, well, Scottsdale, Gilbert, Arizona, in the hospital. I'm laying in bed, and I don't hardly know my name or what's going on. And she reads me the Gazette every day, the sports section, the news, the obituaries. I always want to see if there's somebody I know that died. So she reads me a story about a person who's in LA, in Los Angeles, who gets arrested for jumping on somebody else's Mercedes and causing a whole bunch of damage. And she told me who it was, but the only thing I heard was Edelman. And I said, Lisa, are you kidding me? Chancellor Edelman was jumping on a Mercedes in LA and he got arrested? No, Bruce, it was Julian Edelman from the New England Patriots. So I survived that. But Chancellor Edelman, I'm so happy you're here. And you even have cougars coming to your house, so that's a pretty cool deal. But the 4 greatest years, great faculty at Eastern Montana College, and I'll refer to it as that because that's where I went. The Alumni Association, when the name changed and I was working at Montana State, sent me a letter in the mail and said, we've changed our name, and if you want to get a new diploma that said you graduated from Montana State Billings, we will send it to you for $25. And I wrote back a letter and I just said, I didn't. I graduated from Eastern and I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of Montana State University Billings. But guys like, and if you went to school there and you know some of these names, you'll know what I'm talking about. I had great faculty. I worked for Fran Giardo in the AV department delivering projectors. And for Bobby and Kelly, I'll explain to you after the event what a projector is, because you guys don't use them, you don't know what they are, but greatest work-study job a person could have. But guys like Doc Frigoletti, who, God rest his soul, just passed away, and a lot of other faculty members who passed away, Glenn Iverson, Coach Mike Harkins, Nels Christensen, guys like Randy Howard and Joanne Sheridan in the business and the accounting department. Those are the people that got me ready for what I did. I was really prepared. I took a job at 22 as the SID. I was the youngest Division I SID in the country when I took the job at Montana State in Bozeman. Knew nothing about the job, but I knew something about business. I knew something about organization, and what I learned at this institution was phenomenal. And I wouldn't have traded it in for anything. It's an amazing deal. And, those professors that are now deceased, I was fortunate. My mom was in the hospital with congestive heart failure. I want to say something about my mom. So when I graduated in 1979, I was selected as one of the 6 outstanding graduating seniors. Well, my mom, after 27 years of marriage, came back to college. She graduated from Eastern Montana College in 1980. And she, too, was one of the 6 outstanding graduating seniors. So it meant a lot to me. This is so special for me and really hard. I've been lucky and I've been honored, but the only reason that's happened to me is because I worked with great people. I worked with tremendous student athletes. There's nothing better, Coach Wooden, Coach Durham, and all the rest of the coaches that are in here. I don't know if Coach Williams is in here, but to be able to work with student athletes is phenomenal. And I got to do it for 40 years. And I saw people come in as girls and boys and leave as young women and young men. And the one thing that I always pushed was they aren't here to play athletics. That's just a plus. And they're not here just to get their degree, because that's easy. They're here to get educated. And that's why people come to Montana State Billings, to get educated. Outstanding faculty, beautiful campus. I think things are really picking up for this institution. And I know that Chancellor Edelman has a great plan, as does Bill Kennedy, as does Krista Montague. 3 great people. But I need to tell everybody in this room, you former athletes, alumni, friends of the program, you can't be a spectator. You got to be a participant. You have to help this college, this university, this great place to get it done. Now, it might take you going to events, not just athletic events, all the events on campus. It might take you to write a check, and you'll be asked. You got to step up. We need to make, Billings is the greatest town in Montana, biggest city in Montana. We need to make this the best institution in Montana. And personally, I'd like to see it called, Eastern Montana University. So I don't know where that's going, but I tried to work on my friends on the Board of Trustees, and I haven't got very far yet. But it's going to take all of us to help get this thing rocking and rolling like it used to. And we've got great people in leadership positions. Chancellor Edelman has a great cabinet, and there isn't anybody in Billings, probably in the state of Montana, that Bill Kennedy doesn't know. And if he hasn't talked to you yet, he will. So I'm going to donate my time and try to help on some projects up here, and I'm excited about it. Boy, going home to your alma mater is a great deal. I'm going to wrap this up by saying one little story. After games, and I come to a lot of Mick's and Kevin's games, and I'm really enjoying them. The fans are starting to come back. These are two outstanding basketball coaches. Coach Williams doing a great job with the volleyball program. I speak to that because I think she beat Rocky twice this year when I was over there. New baseball coach, ranked #1 in the conference. Triathlon teams, the sports that Krista's adding, great track team. And soccer has some real bright futures. So things are really happening, especially in the athletic department. So I'm, at halftime of a game or maybe in between games, I'm walking around the Hall of Fame plaques. And I said to myself, and I might even have said it to my wife, it would really be cool to someday get in this Hall of Fame. And I'm here to tell you tonight, I was right. It is cool. Thank you.